What's up? How we sounding? How we sounding? How we sounding, chat? How's the audio with the music in the background? What's up? What's up, just another? How you doing? Welcome to the chat. Early, early. Uh, we also just dropped a new video on the channel, chat. So if y'all want to go check that out after the stream, I'm gonna give y'all some more content, some more things to enjoy on the channel. But welcome to the 1 year Bible stream, chat. This is day 254 in a row. I do remember you. I remember you because when I first saw you, I was gonna call you just another nerd or nerd, but I was like, I'm just gonna call you just another. So for whatever reason, that stuck in my head. So yeah, I remember you definitely. Welcome back. It's been a minute since the last time I saw you. Um, but Today is day 254 in a row of our 1 year Bible read, chat. And we're doing this for 365 days. So if you haven't subscribed yet, my name is in the corner. Click on my name, click subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Today's word is coming from Isaiah 8:1-9, going through verse 21. Facts, same. Some things just kind of stick, you know? And then 2 Corinthians 12:1-10. Then Psalms 55:1-23. It's all good. And then Proverbs 23:4-5. It's rough and nice read. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We're just here to enjoy the word tonight. Don't even matter what we're saying. The word is speaking, you know? But welcome. And without further ado, mic check one more time. Asking one more time, how we sounding tonight? We're sounding good. We can go ahead and get reading. Isaiah 8:1-9, going to verse 21. Then the Lord said to me, make a large sideboard and clearly write this name on it, Mahir Shalal Hashbaz. I asked Uriah the priest and Zechariah son of Jebekiah, both known as honest men, to witness my doing this. Then I slept with my wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. And the Lord said, call him Mahir Shalal Hashbaz. For before the child is old enough to say Papa or Mama, the king of Assyria will carry away both the abundance of Damascus and the riches of Samaria. Then the Lord spoke to me again and said, my care for the people of Judah is like the gentle flowing waters of Shiloh. But they have rejected it. They are rejoicing over what will happen to King Rezin and King Pekah. Therefore, the Lord will overwhelm them with a mighty flood from the Euphrates River. The king of Assyria in all his glory, and its flood will overflow all its channels and sweep Judah until its chin is deep. It will spread its wings, submerging your land, one end to the other. O Emmanuel, huddle together, you nations, and be terrified. Listen, all you distant lands. Prepare for battle, but you will be crushed. Yes, prepare for battle, but you will be crushed. Call your councils of war, but they will be worthless. Develop your strategies, but they will not succeed, for God is with us. The Lord has given me a strong warning not to think like everyone else does. He said, don't call everything a conspiracy like they do, and don't live in dread of what frightens them. May the Lord of heaven's armies holy in your life. He is the one you should fear. He is the one who should make you tremble. He will keep you safe, but to Israel and Judah, he will be a stone that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall. For the people of Jerusalem, he will be a trap and a snare. Many will stumble and fall, never to rise again, and they will be snared and captured. Preserve the teaching of God, and trust his instruction to those who follow me, and I will wait for the Lord, which will turn away from the descendants of Jacob. I will put my hope in him. I and the children the Lord has given me serve as signs and warnings to Israel from the Lord of heaven's armies, who dwells in the temple of Mount Zion. Someone may say to you, let's ask the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead. With their whisperings and mutterings, they will tell us what to do. But shouldn't people ask God for guidance? Should the living seek guidance from the dead? Look to God for instructions and teachings. People who contradict his word are completely in the dark. They will go from one place to another, weary and hungry. And because they are hungry, they'll be rage and curse their king and their God. They will look up to heaven and down at the earth, but wherever they look, there will be trouble and anguish and dark despair. They'll be thrown out into the darkness. And nevertheless, that time of darkness and despair will not go on forever. The land of Zebulun and Naphtali will be humbled. But there will be a time in the future when Galilee of the Gentiles, which lies along the road that runs between the Jordan and the sea, will be filled with glory. The people who walk in the darkness will see a great light. For those who live in the land of deep darkness, a light will shine. You will enlarge the nation of Israel, and its people will rejoice. They will rejoice before you, as the people rejoice at the harvest, and like warriors dividing the plunder. For you will break the yoke of their slavery, and lift the heavy burdens from their shoulders. You will break the oppressor's rod, just as you did when you destroyed the army of Midian. The boots of the warrior and the uniforms blood-stained by war will all be burned. They will be fuel for the fire. For a child is born to us, a son is given to us, and the government will rest on his shoulders. And he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. His government and his peace will never end. He will rule with fairness and justice from the throne of his ancestor David for all eternity. The passionate commitment of the Lord of heaven's armies will make this happen. The Lord has spoken out against Jacob. His judgment has fallen upon Israel, and the people of Israel and Samaria, who spoke with such pride and arrogance, will soon know it. They said, "We will replace the broken bricks of our ruins with a finished stone, and replant the failed sycamore fig trees with cedars." But the Lord will bring Rezin's armies against Israel, and strip all their foes. The Syrians from the east and the Philistines from the west will bear their fangs and devour Israel, but even the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. After all this punishment, the people will still not repent. They will not seek the Lord of heaven's armies. Therefore, in a single day, the Lord will destroy both the head and the tail, the noble palm branch and the lonely reed. The leaders of Israel are the head, and the lying prophets are the tail. For the leaders of the people have misled them. They have led them down the path of destruction. That is why the Lord takes no pleasure in the young men, and shows no mercy to the widows and the orphans. For they are all wicked hypocrites, and they all speak foolishness. But even then the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. This wickedness is like a brush fire. It burns not only briars and thorns, but also sets the forest ablaze. Its burning sends up clouds of smoke. The land will be blackened by the fear of the Lord's heaven's armies. The people will be fuel for the fire, and no one will spare even his own brother. They will attack their neighbor on the right, but will still be hungry. They will devour their neighbor on the left, but will not be satisfied. In the end, they will even eat their own children. Manasseh will feed on Ephraim, and Ephraim will feed on Manasseh, and both will devour Judah. But even then the Lord's anger will not be satisfied. His fist is still poised to strike. Oh, no problem, bro. And now 2 Corinthians 12, 1 through 10. Let's go ahead and start our music over really quickly, just so we keep the flow going. I've got us some copyright-free music for the streams. Now 2 Corinthians 12, 1 through 10. This boasting will do no good, but I must go on. I will reluctantly tell about visions and revelations from the Lord. I was caught up to the third heaven 14 years ago, whether I was in my body or out of my body. I don't know, only God knows. Yes, only God knows whether I was in my body or outside my body. But I do know that I was called up to paradise and heard things so astounding that it cannot be expressed in words. Things no human is allowed to tell. That experience is worth boasting about, but I'm not going to do it. I will boast only about my weaknesses. If I wanted to boast, I would be no fool in doing so, because I will be telling the truth. But I won't do it, because I don't want anyone to give me credit beyond what they can see in my life or hear in my message, even though I have received such wonderful revelation from God. So, to keep me from becoming proud, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me and to keep me from becoming proud. 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. Each time he said, "My grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness." So now I am glad to boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weaknesses and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. And now Psalms 55, 1 through 23. Listen to my prayer, O God. Do not ignore my cry for help. Please listen and answer me, for I am overwhelmed by my troubles. My enemies shout at me, making loud and wicked threats. They bring trouble on me and angrily hunt me down. My heart pounds in my chest, and the terror of death assaults me. Fear and trembling overwhelms me, and I can't stop shaking. Oh, that I had wings like a dove. Then I would fly away and rest. I would fly far away, to the quiet of the wilderness. How quickly I would escape, far from this wild storm of hatred. Confuse them, Lord, and frustrate their plans. For I see violence and conflicts in the city. Its walls are patrolled day and night against invaders, but the real danger is wickedness within the city. Everything is falling apart. Threats and cheating are rampant in the streets. It is not an enemy who taunts me. I could bear that. But it is not my foes who so arrogantly insult me. I could have hidden from them. Instead, it is you, my equal, my companion and my close friend. What good fellowship we once enjoyed as we walked together to the house of God. Let death stalk my enemies. Let the graves swallow them alive, for evil makes its home within them. But I will call on God, and the Lord will rescue me, morning, noon, and night. I cried in my distress, and the Lord hears my voice. He ransoms me and keeps me safe from the battle waged against me. Though many still oppose me, God, who is rule forever, will hear me and humble them. For my enemies refuse to change their ways. They do not fear God. As for my companion, he betrayed his friends. He broke his promises. His words are as smooth as butter, but in his heart is war. His words are as soothing as lotion, but underneath are daggers. Give your burdens to the Lord, and he will take care of you. He will not permit the godly to slip and fall. But you, O God, will send the wicked down to the pit of destruction. Murderers and liars will die young, but I am trusting you to save me. Now Proverbs 23:4-5. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. And now, there are no words. There are no words. There are no words. Indescribable is an extreme way to describe a place you visited. Imagine if you had seen the indescribable wonder of heaven as Paul did. When a prolific writer like Paul has no words to describe heaven, it indicates how astounding it will be for believers to spend eternity there. Paul was not disappointed. He continued to preach that Jesus was the way, the truth, and the life, and that no one experiences the presence of God except through Jesus. Paul had no reason to lie for Jesus. Instead, he lived and died for Jesus. And now in chat, we're going to turn off this microphone, ask for clarity, wisdom, and discernment of today's word, and be right back. No problem. Yeah, that was perfect timing because I'm just about to hop into prayer anyway, so might as well. I'll be right. I'll send your granddad a prayer, and you know, always no problem. It's no big deal to me, man. We'll be right back. Sorry, I was not unmuted, but I spent a little bit of time before we started this stream, after we uploaded that video, to find some good music for y'all to listen to that doesn't get me copyrighted every time I post a video on the channel. Um, I would like to be able to grow my channel, and these copyright strikes are just not it. So yeah. So I appreciate that. I'm glad you like the music. Um, and Let's go over today's word, right, chat? So today we read from Isaiah 8, 1 through 9, going to verse 21, and then 2 Corinthians 12, 1 through 10, and then Psalms 55, 1 to 23, and then Proverbs 23, 4 through 5. We also sent a prayer for your granddad. So I hope your granddad starts feeling better, whatever that is. And let's go ahead and get into the discussion for day 254 in a row of the 1-year Bible read on the Limitless Core channel. So today's read started with Isaiah 8, 9 through 1, going to verse 21. And here, God talks about what we talked about the other day. I think we had a little discussion about this at the end of one of our streams, or in the middle of one of them the other day. But it was regarding people feeling the type of way about God for cleaning the lands, right? And in this story right here, we're talking about God cleaning the lands, right? People, which is very understandable from a human standpoint, right? But if you think about it from a greater than a human standpoint, you think about a mass of all of us standpoint, right? There's been periods of time in the world where there needed to be a reset of people. There were a bunch of people in the world who would have destroyed this planet, right? And we would have never even been able to make it here in this time frame if those people didn't get reset. And honestly, we should be grateful. We should be grateful. And the people that got reset for a reason, because if they would have stayed here, we wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't be here right now. We wouldn't have made it here, So just to gain some perspective on the great resets that have happened throughout the times, right? They've definitely been for a reason. You can get mad or stay mad or whatever you want to be, right? But you wouldn't have made it here if they didn't get reset, So I'm not mad at God for resetting folks, or doing what he got to do. Somebody got to make the decisions around here, and you're thankful that it ain't you. Be thankful it ain't you, yeah, so whenever, as I've gained this new perspective and this wisdom about these times, I've learned that these things had to happen, right? But they're never permanent. They're, as we've seen so far, these resets that we've had, they've never been permanent. There's always been somebody left to restart, to hopefully give us a better start than last time. And that's what God doing. He's giving us a second chance. He's giving us second chances over and over again. So, let's make the most of what we've been given. Given a clean slate. Just like when you've been forgiven for your sins, you've been given a clean slate. So let's make the most of it. And that's the emphasis of Isaiah 8, 1 through 9 is let's make the most of it. Let's make the most of it, right? And then 2 Corinthians 12, 1 through 10. Another let's make the most of it a verse. Um, and it's the same thing. It's the same concept as the last one. In order for us not to get reset next, right? Because that's what we don't want to happen, right? We don't want to be the next version of our civilization that gets reset, right? We don't want that, obviously, right? But in order for us not to be the next civilization that gets reset, right? We don't have to make some changes, We're gonna have to make some changes. If we don't want to get reset next, we're gonna need to make some changes. I have a question about grudges, and it might get a bit personal, so I might be typing for a bit. No problem, right? No problem. But if we don't want to get reset next, right? The overly proudness, the trying to put each other down all the time. That stuff is going to get us reset because we're going to do crazy things to each other, make things for mass destruction, which we've already done, and then God's gonna be like, I gotta restart it again. It's gonna say, I gotta restart it again. You know, we have to make some different choices. We have to make some different choices. Do you understand me? I don't think you guys are hearing me. I don't think you guys are hearing me. Our petty things that we are so petty and worried about, they don't matter. Do you want to be reset next? It's the question, bro. It's seriously the question. Do you want to be the next civilization that gets reset next? That's the genuine question. That's the genuine question. I don't think we realize. I don't think we realize that if God decides to reset us next, there's nothing we can do about that. I don't think we realize that. So I'm gonna be the first one to put my hand up and say, I don't want to be reset next. So all my little petty things that I'm so petty about that don't matter in the grand scheme of things, I am freely letting them go. I am freely letting them go. Because there are things that matter way more than things that don't matter at all. You know? They made a mistake. Just like everybody else makes a mistake, they made a mistake, right? And that's the only way you can forgive them. I know it hurts. It's not something you want to hear. I had a family member who had a similar thing happen, but we're a praying family, right? And what we do for our people is always hope the best for them. No matter what anybody else says, what we do for our people is hope the best for them, right? So the best thing you can do is not be worried about the fact that the doctors made a mistake, but put your hope and your love towards your grandfather for a speedy recovery. Don't be worried about them. Worry about what you can do for your grandfather. Or just send him some love and some care and talk to God, ask God, hey, heal my granddad. That's what you can do. So let's not be focused on us being mad and upset about that. That is very frustrating. I understand that, right? Very frustrating. I had a family member that experienced the same thing. But all you can do is what you can do, right? And that is send all the goodness that you can towards your granddad. You know, send all the goodness you can towards your granddad. And that's not me saying it's gonna magically work. It's saying that peace and love has done miraculous things. So why not try that instead? But let's hop into Proverbs 23, 4 through 5. I mean, it's facts though. And now Proverbs 23, 4 through 5. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be wise enough to know when to quit. In the blink of an eye, wealth disappears, for it will sprout wings and fly away like an eagle. And this is, this perfectly goes with that line I just said, honestly. This verse is, all you can do is what you can do. Don't wear yourself out. Don't wear yourself out. It's okay. You did everything you can do. And you gotta be okay with that. You did everything you can and you gotta be okay with that. You gotta be okay with that. It's tough. It's tough to kind of let go sometimes. But if you did everything you can, you gotta be okay with that. All you can do is what you can do. You know, so. And now, there are no words. Indescribable is an extreme way to describe a place you visited. Imagine if you had seen the indescribable wonder of heaven as Paul did. When a prolific writer like Paul has no words to describe heaven, indicates how astounding it will be for believers to spend eternity there. Paul was not disappointed. He continued to preach that Jesus was the way, the truth, and the life, and that no one experiences the presence of God except through Jesus. Paul had no reason to lie for Jesus. Instead, he lived and died for Jesus. um, today's magic word, today's word of wisdom is trust. Today's magic word, today's word of wisdom is trust. 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 So let's have some trust today. Let's have some trust today. All right, chat. That's the end of today's 1 Year Bible Read. Thank you for joining me. Wasn't Paul the one who got crucified upside down? Or who was that? Crucified upside down. We'd have to verify that. We'd have to verify that one. But honestly, all the disciples, they went through some crazy stuff. Honestly, all of them did. Honestly, all of them did. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't read about a single one of them who didn't experience something crazy. You know, so yeah. Not gonna lie. But they all stood tall, man. You know, so hey, stand on them 10 toes. But if you had never seen this outro, this is your first time, enjoy. But if you have to say it with me, right? We all have that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. Thank you for joining me for another 1 Year Bible Read on the Limitless Core channel. This is day 200. How many days is it? 254 days in a row. 254 days in a row, chat. Thank you. I appreciate your presence always, whether it's for a minute, a millisecond, a second, or if you've been here for a while now. I just appreciate you. You gave me the most valuable thing you can, which is your presence. And I truly appreciate that. Have a great rest of the night, because I'm going to have a great rest of mine. Peace. I'm going to see you next time. Jesus wins. Hey. All right.